mostly the people who are like shocked that you can do that. They like react like that's cool. That's really cool. That's amazing. I get paid to do what I like to do. I get paid to play video games, so can only laugh at the haters.
Yes, indeed. He gets to do what he likes to do, and so do we. We love this job. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. The next game, of course, is going to be Giants Gaming versus Gambit Gaming. It's GG versus GG. So whatever happens,
for so long to say that.
Whatever happens at the end of the day, I can shout GG. It's all good. The question, of course, can Giants take on the Russian powerhouse that is Gambit Gaming?
Well, we know they're like this very heavy team composition forced around controlling the team, you know, with some sort of CC. Last time these two teams actually met, they were under different names. It was ECC Poland. It was Ocelot's World. Yeah, because you're sponsoring them. And then we had
his
Moscow.
whole world right there.
And then we had Moscow 5, where they just, I mean, it was a pretty big stomp on that part. But, you know, one thing I'm kind of thinking about is we saw Gambit Gaming earlier. Their form was perfect. That Renekton play at Darien was amazing. Do you think they're worried about banning out anyone specifically from Giants?
It's a tricky one. I mean, honestly, because Gambit just yesterday, they were a different team. It's like it's kind of Easter all over again. Day one, not so sure. Day two, absolutely obliterated the whole Korean front line, as it were. Took out the Zubu Blades and Frost in one day.
And made it look
just
easy.
Looked unstoppable. Yeah, and like you say, GG easy. Don't do that, kids. It's bannable. You know, we just looked at that game, you know, Volley Bear back in the house. I mean, now what do you ban against him? He's not had Lee Sin banned against Diamond Prox in the last two games, yet he hasn't picked him, yet
he kind of
Xin Zhao has been, which I think is a valid ban, honestly. Yeah, but there's also bans. Do you know ban Volley Bear?
No. I mean,
it's crazy fool.
The thing is, he kind of shifted though. I mean, he played a lot of Lee Sin. He was known for that, but he kind of went to Xin Zhao because he's so strong in the jungle. He's so strong in his ganks, and the late game presence of him being able to knock everyone around, that disruption. But you can't really ban him out because even if you do take those out, you know, you can play Lee Sin again and just walk all over your team.
Just come straight back out. Maybe even break out Shyvana again. I don't know. But we are going to check out the two teams. We'll come back to you in just a moment. Let's go over to Shocks to introduce both teams.
Yes, it's time to bring out our players, and we're starting off with Giants with the 80 carry playing a lot of Kennen, Jimbo. Secondly, to support Babera. He played Lux yesterday, the mid Exterminare. He was rocking that Elise in the jungle yesterday, Morden. And finally, the top laner, Samex. On the other side, for Gambit Gaming, we have to support Edward. AD carry Genja. The mid player, Alex Each. Jungler, Diamond Prox. And last but certainly not least, top laner, Darien. All right, can Giants secure their first win in the LCS, or will Gambit get their second win of the day? Let's find out with D-Man and Jason.
Thank you very much. And, well, you saw the focus on their faces there. Yeah. Giants actually reacted to all those, but Gambit were just tunnel vision.
I don't know if it was focus or just
see hero, kill hero. And you know, people were mentioning the bloodlust that seemingly on Diamond Prox's face the last two times we've done those intros. He seemed pretty locked on again.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for him to do some sort of a hand emotion. But
no, we won't go down that route one more time. But he was just cheering on the opposition team is what he was doing. But Giants. You know, we could talk about the fact that I mentioned it at the top of the show in the intro video you saw. You know, they actually had a pretty big impact on me in the qualifiers that we had in Warsaw.
Right.
Their crowd control team that they had, they were very strong crowd control teams. They tried to do the same on Fnatic, and actually they opened up a 5,000 gold lead on Fnatic.
But the thing is,
Fnatic, they couldn't hold it.
Yeah, Fnatic showed they can kind of outplay that. We had Xpeke, which was the entire focus of them winning the game with the spears. He kept hitting Jim Bones, which are dropping down to third health. He could hit, the support Babetta over and over and over, and he forced someone to back, and they couldn't get that hard engage they wanted to every time. And with that, they took the game pretty much in a landslide. So obviously after that 5,000 gold deficit.
What sort of picks and bans would you aim for if you were coming into this for Giants to begin with?
So that's the hardest. That's one of the hardest things to do against Gambit Gaming because they play so many different champions. I mean, you ban out one set against them, but they have another set. They have a set behind that. They have another one behind that. But the Renekton, I really think in last game we just saw, they dominated with that. I mean, he was 1v3 and getting all three members down to about half health, if not lower than that, and he would still escape.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when we look back to even Intel Extreme Masters in Kiev back in January of last year, we watched these teams. This is when Moscow 5 really broke into the scene. And it was the Shyvana, it was Gangplank, and Lee Sin. And that was everyone went, okay, these are the three you ban. But as you just mentioned, Gambit innovate all the time. They are the team that really bring the new things out. I know Taipei Snipers brought out Volibear. Monte Cristo pulled that one out pretty quickly. We are aware of that, but really it didn't work out so well for Taipei Snipers. It worked out very well against Fnatic for Gambit. They seem to, once they hone a strategy, they'll work on it in, be it 5v5 solo queues, scrims, wherever they do that, they seem to have some sort of secret training ground that they managed to hone these skills and suddenly surprise the world with them. And they've done it. This is the third or fourth time they've pulled this out.
You do have to say, though, there wasn't just that factor. One thing we were talking about a little while ago was Edward. His crescendos were so spot on every time. They completely set up that fight. You had Volibear go in. You had Renekton go in, take all this damage. You even had that one fight at Dragon where Genja just sat at the side, waited. I'm going to wait till everyone lines up, hit with the bullet time. It was just so well played and so well synchronized. And
effectively, it's an adaptation to the Curse of the Sad bullet time, really, isn't it? I mean, the crescendo was always used by the Koreans as well to layer on top of Curse of the Sad Mommy, but this time it was like, we're going to position you in such a way that you're going to get away. No, we're going to flip you straight back in there. Maybe they're going to pull Singed out like Shy does.
That would be amazing. Double flips.
I really would be excited to see that. And Singed, that would be awesome. Yeah. Maybe we're going to see some funky things like that when Thresh finally becomes available. There's all sorts of blitzcrank hooks from downtown that can work out. Yeah, there's all sorts of things, but okay, so from Gambit's point of view, they would have seen Giants qualifying through this. They went 4-0 through the qualification process. They had a pretty close game with Fnatic, but they showed the same hand. They used the same thing. They had 5-man crowd control. What do you ban out against that sort of team? Do you just take away some of the main crowd control aspects of that? Maybe Kennen.
That's the thing. We saw out of the last 5 games Giants have played, 4 of them were with Kennen, 1 was with Ashe. It worked out really well in the qualifiers, but as you saw in the last game versus Fnatic, it didn't really do that amazing. I don't really think he's necessarily a ban they did go with, but it's more about the mid lane. You need to take out maybe it's Cassidy, or if you have Alex try to get that rise over him, because then you can completely outplay him. We saw him in the last game. Didn't do that amazing with them, but still, I mean, Rise is a very strong champion. You have to kind of give that respect ban if you don't want to pick him up. And that's the really things I think you have to go with. I mean, you could also go with the Olaf to take him out, the Kazakhs, at least if you want to, because we did see Giants jungling that at least, since they love the heavy CC, she adds in quite a bit. The thing is, he built her damage that game, and he wasn't able to survive when he went to the backline of the enemy team, and from that, he would get blown up, even with the repel.
And from these two teams, we're in this league situation, and we briefly touched on it earlier on with Fnatic yesterday when I was talking to N-Rated, and he was saying there is no pressure in this. Right. This league situation. You don't feel the normal pressure that you would do in a do-or-die cup competition because you've got, as it is right now for Gambit, another 26 games ahead of them. Giants, another 27 games ahead of them in this season. It's not like they're going to get knocked out if they lose this game. So, do they try something crazy?
That's the thing.
Is it already that time?
Well, I think over time, over the first couple of weeks, we're going to see what teams have what different mindset. The teams that want to take this seriously want to win every game they possibly can now. That way, later on, they can relax and secure their spot into the next half. But we're going to see other teams who are kind of just, being lazy with it, just like no pressure, like you're saying, just kind of, we'll go into it, play normal kind of team composition, something we're comfortable with, and kind of win with it. I don't think it's time for anything crazy just yet, but if you're going to pull something out later, if it plans to, try it out now. Get some practice in against a real team and see if you can use it later on.
Yeah, and interesting enough, like the OGN Winter Championship, we saw a couple of teams try it out. I think Najin Sword pulled some sort of crazy tactic out. I think they pulled the tactic out, and then immediately we saw Katie Rolls to B try and mimic it. backfired horribly.
It was the Caitlyn Nunu.
Yeah, they backfired horribly on them and they failed. So it could be interesting to see whether these teams, whether one of the teams can quickly innovate. Maybe Gambit could pull the same sort of tactic out again. Who knows, against the Giants. Maybe they're just going to throw something completely different at us. We are going to get the picks and bans underway in just a few moments. But as it stands, if they were to pull out some tactic that just blitzed everyone aside, you obviously need to try and mimic that, but how do you do it, mimicking it in a team when everybody else in the league's already seen how it works? And working out, they're going to immediately, so for example, Gambit just pulled that tactic out against Fnatic. Everybody now, all these teams are already working on strategies how to beat that.
And the thing is, we saw it in Intel Extreme versus Katowice. We saw Gambit Gaming try this, the Curse the Side bullet time against Azubu Blaze. Failed horribly. And unfortunately, none of the European teams seem to have got the hold on that kind of composition with locking them down with the bullet time right behind it. It's one of the things you have to practice over and over again, because at OGN, they practice those strats until they have them down to a nail. They want everything going off perfectly in the exact same order, in the exact same position, or at least in a relative position to make these work. If you're gonna try to go for one of these new innovating strategies, you need to practice it now. You need to, show it now, if anything, because there's no real downside to it. Because if people do try to make a counter to it, then you have that whole thing of, okay, they're going to try to counter it, so we can bait them into it and then counter them.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a challenge. Put yourself in a Spanish mindset, Arriba.
Okay, no more hair on me, got it.
Internal joke for Ocelot right there. Put yourself in a Spanish mindset and just think, okay, what team composition do I want to run against Gambit Gaming?
Well, the thing is, they're easily a top 3 team for a European LCS. Run something comfortable. Run something you're used to, just so you can kind of get a sense of how you'll do against them later on in the season. Then you can pull something crazy out if you need to. So I would honestly expect them to go for that kind of heavy CC composition that they seem just so comfortable with. If it's not broken for them, which unfortunately it was kind of yesterday, why kind of fix it?
Well, that's it. So we're going to see whether they do go with the comfortable strategies or whether Gambit throw a wrench in a monkey wrench, I could say. Maybe they could pull Wukong out. I don't know. It's actually Samux that played Wukong yesterday, so it doesn't really work out. Xin Zhao being banned out, no shock there. He could be towards Diamond or Darren. Honestly, both have been playing that one. Interestingly, they've gone towards Kassadin, so expecting Extermin to maybe pull that one out. And immediately draws a couple of looks from the Giants team there on your screens.
Yeah, it's kind of a respect ban. I don't really think that Gambit really wants to let that go through. I know Alexich can play Kassadin, but if you don't really plan on it, you don't want to give someone their best play champion, as Joe was mentioning earlier. You can't give Frog a Nive. Even if you think you know how to counter it and you're sure you can, it's still going to backfire some way. We did see, obviously, Xpeke kind of work around that with the Caitlyn mid, but Kog'Maw actually being banned out, which bad?
Well, yes, Genja did used to play Kog'Maw a heck of a lot. He was one of the main people that played it, but that was some time ago, so whether that's something that they've seen that these guys have been practicing. Bearing in mind, these teams all scrim with each other, so they will have seen probably more than we ever get a chance to, because we don't get access to all that sneaky information. Elise being banned out here. Again, that was Samux that ran that before. Actually, Morden, I think, ran that in the jungle a few times.
Actually, well, the thing is, Demon, that Kog'Maw ban is kind of interesting, because if they're going to run a heavy CC composition, why would it matter? Because they can get on top of Kog'Maw with it, won't have an escape. So to me, it looks like they want to go for potentially a high HP kind of build, with an Olaf potentially, because he can get through. Shenley obviously did ban out, but something with high health just to kind of not have to worry about percent damage. At least was taken out as well. Only one left is Vayne in there to kind of counter that strategy. But yeah, Poke as well. I mean, if they want to pick up that Nidalee, which did get by, could be very possible. The AP Nidalee just so strong. We've seen Xpeke playing her quite a bit.
Well, Kha'Zix being banned out here, and if I remember rightly, Kha'Zix was actually available in the Giants Fnatic game and was not banned out at all and didn't get picked out. So interesting to see that one did get banned out there by the Gambit. Giants have managed to select Olaf. Olaf, I think, has kept 100% record so far in this tournament, so for pretty much all days. I would be surprised if the America included probably stayed 100%. Olaf definitely the choice champion right now.
And the thing is, I mean, we saw how to kind of counter that with Gambit Gaming versus EG. EG used that Anivia wall. Just some sort of terrain displacement to really lock him out. You have Jarvan for that as well. You can keep him out of a fight completely, or you can go with a kind of disengaged composition where you just drag it out long enough that you can turn it around and stun him and just go for the kill.
Twisted Fate and Sona being picked up there, so Edward, he is going to get his Sona once again. Let's see whether he can manage to land any of those 5-man crescendos across Ragnarok from Olaf. Will put a
He's
bait
like
to
4
that.
for 5 today on that, so I think he probably could.
He's done pretty well so far. What are we expecting here from the Giants? Are they going to go with the CC, or will they pull in something else out?
I really think they're going to go for Rise. So you already have Olaf, who's extremely tanky. Rise does decently well against Twisted Fate. Xterra is a very good Rise on top of that.
Triple Rod of Ages. That was his Rise in the live qualifiers.
And it's one of those things you already have. If you have that champion picked up now, as he does, hover onto it, it gives you that extra tankiness, and he has so much damage. He's kind of like an Olaf. You build straight tank, well, not straight tank, but you build tanky on him, but you get that innate damage from the mana, from the mirror mana. It's really hard to kind of counter him late game.
So you can see the discussion going on between them. Mundo could well be getting locked in. That's going to be the jungler. Mundo, there you go. You were hitting it on the nose, as it were, as I hate to say that, Jason, with the nose like yours. But as it stands, Gambit, well, they are. With 2 more picks, Jason.
I'm sorry, you caught me so off guard with that nose comment. I'm just like, did you really just say that?
Just pull that one straight up. Keep you on your toes, Jason. That's what we got to do.
Still alive? The thing is, you're against really high health targets. Not sure if he's going to be too effective. We could see potentially a Vayne. I mean, that would be the next kind of step, but they have good protection with the Crescendo. They have that gold card. The only real person you're worried about is that Olaf to kind of ghost in there and get to you. Vayne will have a hard time against Rise, but that's such a strong, AD carry that you can run with. You can just stick with Twisted Fate and Vayne and then just run tanks in your jungle in your top lane. But I don't really think he's actually going to go for that.
Do we think there's going to be a Twisted Fate, maybe an Ezreal in there? Yeah, okay, so there it is. Ezreal, again, just going to be sticking with the Ezreal alongside Turner and Renekton, as you called it. So Darian quite happy to stick to that one. What will Giants do in response? Is it going to be the Kennen, the AD Kennen that we've seen so many times from Caitlyn?
I'm thinking Caitlyn. If you have that tanky front line, you can sit in the back, not have to worry about anyone getting to you. Maybe even a Nunu, which was let through. And, we know right now on this patch, he's extremely strong, hasn't been, tweaked down a little bit. That would be a pretty good composition because Nunu inherently gets tanky as well. You have to consume during the middle of a fight, which can completely catch a team off guard at 450, 500 health heal. And there is a Caitlyn being sat on, which I haven't seen Jimbones playing him that much. Like I was saying before, 4 of the 5 games he played AD Kennen, so it could be interesting just to see how good he is on Caitlyn.
Well, if it does get locked in and Nunu comes out, Jason, you will be 5 for 5, and that will be an impressive call for the Giants. Let's see. No, he's going to switch it out.
Got my hopes up.
Could be coming out of there. Well, don't bet against Jim Bones and his Kennen, of course. So there it is, the little bit of CC. I thought Giants, they had to pull out some of that crowd control. They just couldn't let it slide. Xerath getting locked in. Could it be coming out? It's just Edward. Edward, please. Yes, that would work. That would work. We see Edward on the screen. He is one of the big trolls of the league, so we don't get too excited. It is going to be Volibear again. Wow. This time, George, the lead producer of Riot Games, is awake and watching, and he is Volibear. And he's going to be happy to see Volibear being selected as the champion after his own name. So I managed to wake him up, really, with the last game. I was like, somebody wake him up! His champion is being played right now. We saw him go, I think it was 4-0-19, I think the score was last game, along with a 6-0-16 Darian. So let's see how Gambit do against this one. They've actually got... Is that an identical team? Is that a completely identical team? I think it is.
I believe it is.
That is the exact identical team.
Genji was running Misfortune.
Yes, he was. The bullet time, of course. How can we forget? He landed it perfectly. So how will this stack up here, Jason?
I don't know. I'm not really the Mundo pick. I mean, yeah, you have a lot of health, but if you picked up an Amumu, lock that down with the Zyra ultimate with Kennen, who could sit on top of it, potentially if he picks up like a War Monster, you can lock them down for so long. And the Mundo just seems kind of out of place. That's one thing that's really just kind of, sitting in my head kind of as a weird thing.
So is that maybe Morden go with a comfortable champion rather than being forced to play a Mumu? Maybe he's just not happier with the Mumu, he's more happier with the Mundo?
It very well could, but the thing is, if you're going to be participating in Season 3 LCS, you have to have more than a couple champions you have to play.
Pool,
yeah, you cannot afford to do that. You need to be practicing the champions. And I mean, it is the first week, so maybe over time, people have finally that ability to, get that practice in. They'll have their, gaming house. They can finally start, settling down and just get into training mode.
I mean, yeah, it's something you need to think of. You can see it on the screen. GG versus GG coming up right now, and it is going to be on your screens because we are into the game. And have you see on your screen, it is going to be the Giants as the blue team in the bottom right-hand corner playing bottom to top, and top to bottom will be Gambit as the red team trying to get down into that pesky Nexus. Corpora Mundo on duty for Morden. The question is, can he manage to land them briefcases in the face of that pesky bear as he comes in to try and get all flippity-floppity on you? We did see Vladimir Putin coming riding in on a bear on Reddit. The question is, can Diamond Prox do that once again? A bear in armor, will you say? What crazy happenstance is this? As it stands, we do see the wards getting placed out. Jason, is there anything you're suspecting, anything you're seeing maybe from possible late invades? Looking like we're going to have a duo lane switcheroo here from Gambit.
I don't think they're going to really go with that. We have Mundo. He's going to start at red, so that's kind of a normal position for him to be standing at. We actually have Oliver at the top side, so Diamond Prox could potentially be going for a kind of early gank with that gold card out of Alex in the mid lane. It could be very interesting. And Demon, I'm looking through the characters real quick. Another interesting thing to point out, Genja. Every single game he's been playing, he's been running his flat 17 armor pen, which only one other person in this entire tournament has been running, and that was Yellow Pete. He was running 13. So it was kind of an interesting pickup on his part. He goes for that extra AD on his item, like the long sword or the Doran's Blade as you're seeing, and then relies on the extra armor pen to really harass down the other team. And on the other side, Exter, he's using Lifesteal and Spell Vamp Quince. He has that 3% on both of them for the extra sustain in lane. Going to help out quite a bit in the late game to, with the Mirror Mana to really keep them alive in these fights.
So we do see Morden starting out at the Wolves. Diamond going to be starting at the Wolves with the help of Alex Each as well. And in the top lane, we see the Golems being picked up by the duo lane. So it's going to be a lane switch, which really gives who the advantage here. We're going to have a real heavy poke lane of Genja and Edward on Sona and Ezreal versus a Olaf, which is effectively probably the best 2v1er in the game. I think it's safe to assume. Against Darian on Renekton, who just played immaculately in the last game on Renekton, really has performed pretty well on Renekton throughout, but he's going to be against Jim Bones and Babetta, who will be on Zyra and Kennen.
Well, that's the funny thing, is that Renekton's one of those early game champions, so you kind of want that early pressure to really destroy your opponent. But he's proven time and time again that he can take the early game advantage, if he even has any, and make it last into the mid game and to late game, where it just becomes this tanky and movable object. But I think I have to agree with you. In the top lane, it's going to go down to Samix, who has under 2 who can farm from range. But I wouldn't be surprised if Gambit actually goes for very early gank on the top lane. They did it last time against Fnatic, and they can clear up Renekton to go in the top lane and get his own free farm.
And look at that. You just see Samix placing that ward down in the towards the blue area, so he's well aware of the fact that there could be a gank coming towards him in that top lane. Around about the 4 minute mark, that's when they usually come in. Team WE, of course, started that all out in the Chinese. In fact, it was in the OGN League they did it, the Chinese team, and that's, I distinctly remember it, COG telling me all about it when they were at CBIT it was last year for the World Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. They were playing that match just the following week, and there it is. That ward paying its dividends already as Diamond Prox comes around, and Samix is not going to fall for it.
And the thing is, it doesn't really matter at this point. We do have Morden, though, coming up. If Morden wasn't in position to help counter this, then they could still push him out of that lane and get that turret, which would still free up Darian. And in the end, they'd still be getting the goal they wanted, but
he's going for it.
Oh. He's like trying to decide. It's a very indecisive bear.
He is a very indecisive bear. I can see question marks coming off above his head right now. He's quizzical bear. And here he goes. Morden comes around though, and immediately they realize the goose could well be cooked. Teleport comes in as well. They're going to go towards, can they catch on towards Diamond? The briefcase lands in the backside of the bear, but he just walks away with a little bit of a limp.
That was a great job by Giants to kind of counter that whole thing. They knew it was coming. But the thing is, still some damage is done. They forced Exter to use that teleport to miss out on CS in lane, to miss out on the levels, which he's going to need because Rise, he has such a tough time in the early game. He kind of needs that tier, potentially a Catalyst as well, to really start ramping up his damage and his sustain. We do have Alexich, though, getting caught under turret here. They're going to go for a dive.
They're going to go for a dive. They do put the stun card down when it's not going to be full damage going on. Diamond Prox taking the turret down. More importantly for that teleport being used means he cannot follow Alexich. He's going to hit level 6 before that teleport is back up. Meanwhile, the bottom turret is taken incredibly low because Darian has just been fighting off that 2v1 in the bottom lane. Oh, the flash comes through. They're going towards Alex Inch. He can't pull out the yellow card. Finally he does. Is it going to be enough? No! The burn from Morden there on the red buff. I didn't see whether he put Ignite down. No, he didn't because he hasn't even got it in his summoner spell. But it is going to be the bottom turret going down as well. So Giants suddenly claw out a bit of an advantage against Gambit.
Yeah, getting a very early lead right now. The question is, can they hold on to this lead? Can they open up the rest of the game? I mentioned it before. We see a lot of teams now have the ability to open up the early game, but they can't carry that the rest of the game. And Gambit, sorry, we know them as a team that could easily turn this around. It's in Giants' hand to pretty much win or lose this game right now with that first blood and with that first turret at the bottom lane.
Well, that's a big ask to say win or lose when you're 1-0. That's almost solo queue mentality, Jason. I'm not sure if I'm going to quite go with that one. It's like people just say GG as soon as they lose first blood. But as it stands at the moment, Samix is doing a grand job at keeping them away from this top turret, while all. That bottom turret has gone down, but the danger of that is they're going to have to switch it up, and they need to try and put the pressure on, because Darien, as you can see, has already got a lot more farm than Samex. He's just been left alone to his own devices down there. He's going to get around 2 or 3 waves. That's just going to pull his gold straight back. Meanwhile, you can see Samex has already had to switch around.
And the thing is, when you have Samex come down, he is behind in levels, he is behind in farm, like you're saying, and Darien has the potential to kill him before he hits that level 6. So, I mean, we've seen this happen before, where Darien will lose his first turret, but then he just keeps that pressure on, he keeps that split push on as much as possible, and tries to catch up and farm. Genja, though, looking like he might get caught here.
He gets the stun down. He's going to get another plant. Genja might well go down to this one. He'd see him just get away. One more shuriken will do the job, and Jim Bones picks up the kill.
Great play. That was a great play. I wasn't expecting that stun to actually land, and that's what's kind of giving that weird kind of tone at the end of that comment. But a great play, picking up that early kill. Thing is, Gambit now, if they can just hold on, I mean, try to minimize any deaths, minimize any turret losses, they easily will be back in this game.
They're diving on towards Alex H. The Rune Prison goes down, and it looks like Alex H. may well get dropped as well, and Extermin picks up the kill. This is a different Gambit gaming that we just saw against Fnatic. They seem to be so hyped, so up for it, but Giants are turning on the advantage. Can they keep it going?
And Demi, we mentioned in the beginning of the show, were there any big upsets for you in day 1?
Yeah.
I think right here has the potential to be the big upset of day 2. Diamondprox ain't caught in the top lane, but his passive will keep him alive.
Well, Jimbo's, oh, look at that. He's just teasing that poor little bear. He just can't catch up to him. And he just teasing, he's just dangling the carrot in front of him, saying, nope, not today, thanks.
Oh, carrot. I was thinking he had honey, and that was like Winnie the Pooh trying to chase after it.
I should have gone that route. I should have gone that route, Jason.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the power of Volibear being able to chase, but Kennen with that mobility, able to run away. We do have Genja coming back in the top lane. Diamondprox, he's been not necessarily shut down. Well, actually, I'd say he has been pretty much shut down. He wasn't able to get that early kill on the top lane. Hasn't really been able to commit any kills or get any assists, which we saw 4-0-19 at the end of that last game versus Fnatic.
Wow, more than taken down very low. They're waiting longer and longer for Extermin to come around. Samex and Darien, no, Darien's going to drop his ultimate. Is it going to be enough to get him towards Samex? Does slice and dice past him. You can see the Ragnarok and the exhaust being forced out by Samex there. That's enough. Darien, that's all he wanted to do. Didn't use his ignite. Wasn't really going for the kill, just trying to force anything out of him.
And it worked. He pushed him out of lane. He's got that CS lead. He's keeping that CS lead further and further.
The kill. CS there from Genja.
Well, that's what Edward does. If he's not stealing kills, he's stealing that CS.
He's trying to jack anything he can from Genja. He has only taken 3 CS so far, but you know, he's just thinking, hey, you weren't going to get it, Genja. I might as well get it myself. You can see that ping ward actually, Babetta sitting on top of it. They're well aware of where it is. Looks like blue buff will be given across to Alex Ich, and Alex needs to start getting his teleport on here. He needs to start pulling something out, but we mentioned this already. Look at this. Darien left alone again. Bullied Samex out of lane. He is nearly double the CS already.
And this is the problem for Giants. They can't let that lead they gained early on slip, and they're doing that at the moment. What we need to see on the right now, Demon, go for a dragon. You have Mundo, you have those cleavers with that % damage. You'll get a nice gold increase. You should be able to actually 3 or 4 man push that top lane, get that turret down. And once that happens, the teleport out of Alex Ich won't even matter. That ultimate pretty much gets mitigated.
Every time we see the early dragons, it generally comes out of Gambit, but as it is, they haven't gone for it just yet. We do see the ward on top of Diamondprox here as Morden comes sniffing around that red buff. The ping come down. They were aware that he's headed towards there, so the little warning came out from his duo lane in the top there. 70 CS to 45, though. That is the difference between the two bottom laners, I think it's safe to call them at the moment, because they do tend to switch around, but the solo laners is more fitting as it stands. Anything you're seeing in the builds as they start to go back and pick up their first items?
Well, I mean, we're expected to have Darien to build a Sunfire Cape, which I just see he's going to be going for. We could see the Luck of the Iron Solari coming out of Diamondprox as a potential item with that Ruby Crystal. I wouldn't be too surprised to see that. Looks like we're going to see Merchants. Actually, in the bottom, we see a fight breaking out.
Breaking out again. Here comes Alex Ich this time. You can remember, Samex hasn't got that Ragnarok. He has. He's just come back up, but it doesn't matter. Oh, but Extermin can pick up the kill. No! Darien survives. Gold card comes out from Alex. Can this get turned back around? Extermin is going to go back in. Darien has to back away. He can't get involved in this fight. Extermin's not too sure whether he wants to go toe for toe with Alex there. Alex didn't really have the mana to back it up, though.
Yeah, the ball's on Darien right there to just back in that river bush when he knew Rise was right there. Someone could be coming in from the side. Top lane, a lot of pressure happening. And the thing is, Giants, they're trying to make a move on that advantage they gained early on. But they've been shut down because Diamondprox has been camping this top lane, just trying to prevent that turret from going down, trying to prevent any extra gold going in over to Giants' hands.
Oh, the pressure on towards the middle turret. Now they realize they pushed him away. Here comes Darien once again. He doesn't want to tangle with Extermin, though. And you can see he takes half of his damage straight away from Extermin. Extermin famed for for the triple Rod of Ages in the live qualifiers. Alex H, meanwhile, putting the pressure on that bottom lane. That mid turret has to be defended, but Darian's having to back off again. He's losing a lot of valuable experience he gained from pressuring that bot lane.
Yeah, very true. I was actually just about to point that out, is that that's a second back, but he was forced to go back twice in a row without sitting in the lane, without soaking up the XP or the CS, which he was getting in the bottom lane. And so at the top, they're just trying to be very aggressive. They're keeping the push back. Thing is, with Kennen now level 7, with that ultimate, he's pretty much going to have that guaranteed stun on top of you. Genja not running a cleanse to escape it. Going to cause him quite a bit of problems. And the mid lane getting pushed yet again out of Giants. They're really trying to shove this down Gambit's throats, but it's really up to Gambit to kind of hold on here, as they currently are doing it. I mean, they're keeping these turrets alive, and that's all they really need to do.
Just about keeping in there. Diamond Procs taking very low this time around. The bottom lane again, Darian and Samux just juking it back and forward. The two duo lanes keeping it going as well. And as it stands, they are starting to hold their ground, as you mentioned, but all of Gambit's turrets right now are very, very low. It is Giants putting the pressure on. Can they keep it on? That is the question. We've seen Alex H taking a look around. He wants to get involved. He wants to put pressure on towards his duo lane, but immediately I think he just got spotted. I'm not too sure by that red ward. He is hanging around. Look, he's got the gold card pulled. We're expecting him to go, but instead he isn't. He's going to go for the golems.
Well, we could see that flash crescendo coming out very soon out of Edward, since he was so spot on earlier, Demon. And one thing, looking at this game can get very explosive very quickly. We have those two turrets, like you're mentioning, very low for Giants, or sorry, for Gambit. And then we still have that dragon up with the Mundo as a jungler to kind of take it. This could pretty much swing in Giants' favor extremely quickly. But the thing Gambit does have is that Twisted Fate. We saw him last time. We saw EG get pretty far behind in gold, but by having that Twisted Fate, having that extra gold income with the extra 2 per every minion kill, it kept him in the game.
Where are the Giants heading off to? Looking like a possible blue invade here. They're going to try and get the position round. We do see Diamond. He's going to walk straight into the bush and get that briefcase right in the chops. And he's just going to back off. Oh, bottom lane is going to be the target. It's going to be Darian. He's gone too deep. He's going to need Alex H to come down and help him out. And you can see he's already sliced and dicing. He realizes he's in trouble. He's trying to desperately to get away. He's going to have no flash available. Alex H is now coming in. He needs to cancel it. He needs to get the hell out of there. He flashes through. Morden comes through. Throws the briefcase into the dragon, and Diamond Procs comes charging in on his bear, but he can't manage to catch him down, and Morden with that ultimate will just force them away, and Giants pick up another advantage. They're keeping the pressure on the top lane though.
I think I can tell what Alex was thinking when he was teleporting in there. He's like, cancel. I need to get out of this because I'm going to die when I get there. But luckily with that flash, he did escape it, and still Giants. I mean, they had Darian down. You had Alex's flash down. Why not go?
Why not go for the dragon?
Yeah, why?
Instead, they're going to lose out the top lane, and there was just nothing gained. You've just simply picked up 1 kill and lost the turret.
Yep, and that's honestly a huge misstep on their part. And that's what I was talking about earlier. They get that early advantage, but they can't convert it into the late game.
And look at the gold. They were massively in the lead. They had about 3-4K lead earlier on. It's down to 600 gold already. So they're starting to get it back. Of course, the Twisted Fate being in the team helps out with that gold. The longer the game goes on, the more advantage you're going to get from this one. And you cannot leave a team like Gambit just alone, because they will claw any advantage they see.
The thing is, right now, Giants are getting a lot of major items completed. Look at actually what Jimbo's picked up as his first item.
Here they go. They're finally going for it.
I think they heard us. They finally heard us. But Jimbo, he picked up a sword, or a Blade of the Rune King. I mean, they lost a turret, so they kind of went down to make something out of it. But damn it, close it in. They actually might be able to turn this fight around in their favor.
They're getting straight towards Diamond. Diamond's going to go charging in, though. You can see the slice of Maelstrom's going to get triggered. Is it going to be enough? That's going to be the bear going down. It could be another one. Darian's taken down very low. This could be a fantastic fight for Giants. Darian is going to get dropped. It's Jim Bones that picks up the kill. Alex H also very low. Dodges out of the axe head. Not quite landing on it. The split targeted. Didn't know which one to go for. Genja does manage to juke away, but Alex is still incredibly low. Ward being put down. Samux is going to try and sneak around the back of the top turret. He's going to come around. Can the axe land? No! He backs away. But it doesn't matter. They can pick up the dragon, and they have picked up the dragon. And a big, big advantage once again clawed out by the Giants.
And Giants got so lucky right there, because if Edward was a little bit closer with that crescendo, that fight would have went completely in Gambit's favor. But luckily, like you just said, got the dragon. They should be able to push down another turret here. They still have that top turret down very low. They still have the mid turret very low. And the gold income that they, well, not the gold income, the gold lead they had of 600 now has opened up into an even greater lead. And Demon, we're seeing something you love on Extra right now.
It's a second Rod of Ages being built, of course. What else would you go for? There's many, many items available, but Rod of Ages seems to be the best. You know that? The Blade of the Rune King, it's something that I was trying to point out in the first game against Fnatic. It's something I was surprised actually Fnatic didn't pick up.
Yeah, sorry, going back to the Rod of Ages on Extra real quick. I'm actually not 100% sure that will be another Rod of Ages, because a Banshee's Veil, if we look at that last fight, he got locked down so hard because of the stun out of Darien, the stun out of Alex Ich.
Who's going? Oh. He's going to dive in towards Alex Ich. Jimbo's feeling very confident there, going in towards Alex Ich, one of the best AP mids in the world, and well, he did force him back.
That Euro's got some big shurikens. But yeah, the Banshee's Veil, it might not be a bad pickup for him. He got locked down the entire last fight, and it might, just pretty much exponentially increase his damage over what a Rod of Ages would actually give him. And Gambit, they're not looking too good right now.
Well, boom, baby, coming from Samex. Is it going to be enough with Diamond Prox diving in? We can see on your mini-map, Darien is heading him off, heading down that river. That Gator, he is going to head him off, and we're assuming it's a Gator. We weren't quite sure whether we pinned this one down earlier on, but he is going to come around. You can see he's had to use Ghost and Ragnarok, tosses the axe in towards him, and has he managed to juke him out? I think he has. It's a great escape from Brolaf.
And with that entire chase that they just put on the Samex, Gambit ended up losing their top turret, and they're still being aggressive. They're still pushing this up right now. We have Alex Ich going to come around and try to defend it, but still, the damage is done. That goalie that was 600, now up to 3,000. And Giants, I mean, we had a moment there where it's looking like they weren't really going to come back because they were letting a lot of these opportunities slip, are now getting back in the game. They have a Sunfire Cape now done on Olaf. They're starting to get their core items built. We have Mundo, finally has that Warmogs. The first Rod of Ages out, potentially another one coming. The Blade of the Rune King done for Kennen, which honestly is kind of a surprising first item for me out of him. A Bloodthirster would give you obviously a lot more sustain, and you need some attack speed on him to get the extra stuns down. And Demon, I'm looking at this because at Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, we were both there, and we saw Edward running no sight ward, but he ran a lot of pink wards and a door and shield, and we haven't seen that out of him this entire tournament.
Yeah, he's definitely been building it differently, but of course he did run Taric at that point, which he was saying you just don't need it on Taric. I think that's more to the point of what it was. He was just saying, well, all I'm there for is basically an armor battery for everyone involved. Obviously, Urgot running alongside him. Interestingly, you haven't seen Gambit go towards that one. Diamond Prox may well get caught out here. You can see Extermin coming in, puts the Rune Prison down. Samex is going to come back around. It's revenge time for Samex, and Diamond is not going to be able to escape this one. He tries to jump on through, or is he? No, the axe does manage to catch him down, and boom, baby, comes out, but it's Extermin that picks up the kill. Alex Ich now comes in on towards Samex. Samex spots that Ragnarok. He's going to try and get away from this one. The whole of Gambit coming around. He hasn't got Ghost available to him this time. He's going to try and turn some damage down, and well, it was a 4-man pylon just to get that one kill.
And a 1-for-1 trade with a lot of summoners, a lot of ultimates committed.
Top turret.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Jimbo's on the top. He was able to push this up. He should be able to get quite a bit of damage down onto it as long as he sticks around, and that is completely not in Gambit's favor. Dragon will be up relatively shortly in about 2 minutes here, and if Giants can kind of get another turret down the mid lane and then kind of go back by, pick up a couple of wards, and secure this next Dragon, they're going to look very strong for these next couple of team fights.
That is going to be the middle turret going down. The bottom one looks like it will be counted on by Darien. Oh, you can see Slicey Malstrom coming out from Jim Bones there on towards Alex Ich, and like you mentioned, there is a big bold yodel right down that bottom up the top lane. He's quite happy to take on. And oh, we're going to see Diamond. He's going to get flippity floppity. No, he couldn't get on towards Extermin, and now they've turned it back around, and they're all flipping it back all over his face, and Genja cannot get in there, cannot do any damage because Giants are too strong right now. It's 8-3 in kills.
And Demon, we're seeing Gambit.
Oh my word, no. Genja, you are getting destroyed by Jim Bones. You can't compete right now.
He's getting all those big shurikens all up in his face. But the thing is, we're seeing Giants from day one. They had the exact same kind of thing where they didn't play too well. They came back today, did extremely well against...
Flash burn there. Flash forced out there. That was just a stun card on Morden. And you know what, Jimbos, they're starting to scare the Gambit here. Really starting to worry them. The Giants are playing big.
Oh, gosh. I didn't think about that for a second. I was like, oh, he made a pun there, kind of. But anyways, yes, they are coming out very big right now, very strong. We might see that upset we were both waiting for throughout today. And we have items, finally being picked up here for Gambit. They're getting a lot of their core done. We see the Twin Fangs done Twin Shadows done for Alex Ich. We have that Sunfire Cape and another Giant's Belt done for Darien. And that Locket of the Iron Solary done over for Diamond Prox, which honestly, I mean, it wasn't talked about too much in the last game from them, but it really is such a strong item. I know Quickshot mentioned it. The cooldown reduction, the health you get. And we see Gambit going to get engaged upon here.
Genja into all sorts of trouble. He's just going to get dropped where he stands. There was no way he was ever going to get involved in that fight. It's a 4-man, and that simple ward placement on the blue buff did all it needed to.
Yep, and I mean, denying that blue away from Alex Each is going to cause a lot of problems. His Destiny, without that extra cooldown reduction on it to, you know, zip around the map as quick as possible, is going to cause some problems. But we have the blue buff over to Babetza, so his CC is going to be even quicker. We have the blue buff onto Xterra. He has his tier stacked up quite decently so far, sitting at 712 stacks. And we have a lot of gold right now. If we look at that over for Giants, they have 1,400 on Olaf, they have 2,300 on Ryze, they have 1,800 on Kennen. They're going to go back, they're going to buy a couple of new shiny items and be a real force to reckon with in these fights.
And there is the second rod of ages.
He went for it.
Yeah, he went for it. Of course he did. Well, expect the third one maybe now. Can he go for 4? That's the question. This is the real deal right now. Forget the rest of the game. I want to see 4 rod of ages goes down right there. Alex is so desperately trying to keep up. He's got that Twin Shadows once again like he had in the first game. Anything really that Gambit are going to have to do to get themselves involved in this game, because they are slowly but surely being picked off by the Giants.
Well, the thing is, we saw last time that Diamondprox had a much better game than he had this time. He was a lot more tanky. He had that, you know, early advantage. He was able to give a couple of his lanes some kills and some assists just to kind of get that little bit of an edge. But right now, I mean, Darren, he's such a good Renekton player. He almost has, you know, that Warmog completed. And when he gets that, when he starts tanking all the damage that Giants can put out, they actually have a chance in these fights as long as Genja can get the damage here, as long as Alex Each can get the stuns that they need to. And Edward, if he can come up big with those crescendos, it's going to cause a lot of problems for Giants.
Well, that bottom turret finally going down has seemed to have freed up Darien a little, so he's going to start to roam out a little more. We did see him pulling more damage down in that mid lane early on. He is going to head back down to the bottom, though, Samox. He has got a huge CS lead that he's been carrying pretty much from the start of the game with Darien against Samox there. But honestly, I don't know really which way this could go. You can see Darien chasing on towards Samox. Where is Samox going to head to? Where are you going there, Samox?
He's going for farm.
I'm not too sure. He can just run away, but he's going to draw the rest of the team in. Oh, of course, that's what he's doing. He's drawing everyone towards him. He's got Diamondprox down there, and they're going for the Baron. This could be a very sneaky maneuver, but there's going to be Twisted Fates. Ultimate, that's going to spot them. Morden's still taking very low. True Shot Barrage is going to come across. They do dodge away from there. Oh, and Alex Each actually didn't come in. They got the Baron. Giants managed to pick up the Baron. Now they're going to try and turn it around. Extermin does get stun cutted out. Giants are just going to take their advantage and back away. Samox may well go down in this bottom lane. I don't think it's going to be able to avoid Darien. Teleport is going to come in. Is it going to be enough? Oh, Extermin just perfectly timed. We do pan down. You can see Extermin puts the ward down. Now Darien is in trouble. He's backing away. Meanwhile, the rest of Gambit, they're piling straight down the mid lane. They're trying to take an advantage from this one. They're going to get the one turret. Can they get the second? That's the question. The rest of Giants are trying to react to this one. Meanwhile, Darien is desperately trying to get away from this one. The slice and dice from Extermin. Is it going to be enough? He desperately wants to just land that rune presence. Flashes in, pops him straight down. And now Giants are going to react back towards him in that mid turret. Gambit cannot hold on any longer, and Giants are going to pursue. Alex Each puts the stun card down, but is enough. The root comes out. Edward, Crescendo, straight down. Teleports come back in there. Diamondprox, can he get on towards Samox? No, they all have to evacuate and back off. Darien was the only victim of the whole fight, and that was a long fight. I need oxygen because Jim Bones is taking the top turret.
Yeah, and look at that entire fight. What happened? It was a 3v4 at that last point right there. Gambit was trying to go for that second turret, but in the meantime, we had Jim Bones pushing the top lane the entire time. We have Xterra at the bot lane getting this turret, and they're just taking this one by one, increasing their gold lead. And I think Jimbo's might be getting caught here.
No, I don't think he's getting caught at all. I think he's going to turn it back around on towards Alex Each. Alex Each taken so low, he just couldn't catch on towards him. Jimbo, the True Shot Barrage from Genja picks him off like a threaded needle straight away. That's going to be the middle turret going down. The bottom turret also being dropped. Giants are destroying Gambit right now. It's 7-1 in turrets. They are just keeping the chaos going, and Giants really, Gambit, don't know what to do about it.
They almost have a 10,000 gold right now. They're picking them apart one by one with all these turrets going down. They have all the outers down at this point. They have so much gold in their pockets to spend. We have 2,500 gold on Ryze right now. He could see...
Oh, the Extermin, he's just going to destroy Alex. The stun card comes out. He's enough. He doesn't have the flash. The Twin Shadows slow is enough to help him get away.
Demon, I think you might be able to get a little excited here because we might have another Rod of Ages coming out for Xterra with the money currently is sitting on. And this is just giving...
He needs some boots. That might be handy. He might catch people in future.
No, Rod of Ages. Forget it. Just go all Rod of Ages. Just get into the middle of the team with your teleport, and that is your boots, your teleport. But with the advantage they have in these items
they're diving on Extermin. They're going to try and catch on towards him. He's going to get the stun card out. You're going to get flippity-floppity on him. He does manage to get down. There it is. Any second now. He's just waiting until he tries to run. He's not even using the flip. He's like, I don't need this flipping malarkey. I'm just going to kill him anyway with cards.
Okay, so maybe he does need boots. As you saw right there, wasn't able to escape in any sort.
Boots might be required. Instead, he just gets a mirror mana.
Yeah, why not? He should have gotten another rod of ages, though.
He's coming back in again. Alex is caught out. He's in the bush. The ward goes down. Jim Bones is just saying, hell no, you won't go, because he's going to catch on towards him. One more route comes out. No, he doesn't quite catch out, but Jim gets the stun. There's the extra burst of damage. And, well, Alex Itch, you just can't mess with those little shurikens. Oh, they're going into the blue buff. Will they ever stop?
I don't know. I mean, how are you still breathing right now? Because he's been fight after fight, action after action, and Giants are really...
Morden's caught out here. He's just going to walk away, though, because Corporate Mundo goes where Corporate Mundo pleases. While it's happening, Samox is continuing to pressure in that top lane. The home guard boots are working as much as they can, but now the bottom turret, the inhibitor turret, is going down. This could be the 8th turret of the game for Giants, only 3 for Gambit. Can they ever turn this around?
And then we have Samox trying to go in for that inhibitor on the top end as Darian and him are fighting, but it looks like he's just going to escape here, not really having too much threat since he has that Ghost, has that Ragnarok to get away.
Well, he is keeping the damage on him. You can see the ultimate coming out from Darian there. Will have to be burned out. Jim Bones just switches around. Says, you know what? You're going to keep me busy on the bottom. I'll switch to the middle, and I'll put a little bit more damage on them. The chaotic play of Giants seems to have caught Gambit completely off guard. They're going to go in towards Morton. He's going to try and get the damage down. He does get flip on him. He gets the Sun card down, but have they got enough damage to take down this ultimate running machine? No, they do not. And Morton even turns back around on him. Now they're going to come in towards the top. They're diving in towards Arian. There's going to be a slicing maelstrom. Darian is going to get dropped here. Samox and Jim Bones can just shred him apart. They do pick up the kill. Now Diamond Prox is in trouble down the bottom lane. Crescendo may have to be used in a full-on defensive unit. They are going to take down the top inhibitor.
And the Giants are being so aggressive right now. They're giving Gambit no breathing room to kind of get a little timeout and kind of recoup their losses, kind of figure out what their next step is. And this aggressive, chaotic play style is catching Gambit Gaming off guard.
I don't know about not giving Gambit any breathing room. They're not giving me any breathing room, because that's the top inhibitor going down. The bottom one is in all sorts of trouble. The home guard boots are not working out for them because they're just being split left, right, and center. They're going back in. Diamond manages to flip on Exterminate. Crescendo comes across, but is it enough? True Shot Barrage lands very nicely. Gambit could well pick up a couple of kills, but it's only going to be purely defensive. Diamond Prox taking low. Diamond Prox goes down. Boom, baby, from Samox, and he does drop him. The card comes out. Jim Bones finally drops. Here comes Twisted Fate. Alex Hicks takes down Exterminate, puts the Twin Shadows on towards Morden, just keeping him, kiting him at range, lands the stun card, gets Morden down as well. Just one more to go. Meanwhile, Genja's taking on someone in the middle lane. There it is. Genja picks up the kill. One more man alive, and it is going to be a better backing away. It's 13-9, but it's a 9-3 in turrets with an inhibitor down. Ladies and gentlemen, tell your friends, get them online, because Gambit Gaming are up against it here against Giants.
And at that end, Giants kind of bit off more than they could chew. Unfortunately, they kind of got a little too cocky right there, lost 4 members, but still, it doesn't matter. The damage is done. That top inhibitor is now down. They have that top wave pushing. Baron going to be up very shortly right now. 29-17 as we're sitting on 28 minutes. Giants completely in that driving seat. I kind of feel good since I said in the beginning of the game, it's up to them to win or lose, as you're seeing right now. They easily can win this game, and they can throw that upset that we've all been looking for.
It's a 10,000 gold advantage. Wards being placed down around the Baron. They're aware that it's up in 1 minute time. That is really going to be the killer, the decisive moment. Can Gambit keep the pressure down in the rest of the lanes to hold off the Giants' massive craziness of attacks here? As it stands, they are keeping them away every step of the way. Look across the items, Jason. Take us through what we are seeing here, really where the big advantages are turning.
Well, the big advantages, it's basically on that mid lane. We see Exter, he has a 2 Rod of Aegis, the Mirror Mana, built into his Glacial Shroud, and to his opponent has a Lich Bane, a Twin Shadow, and an AC Large Rod. He doesn't have the AP, doesn't have the damage or the near tankiness to really sustain any kind of damage the Giants can run at them with, because you have that Olaf who can Ragnarok in there, isn't worried about any sort of damage you can do to him, especially a Twisted Fate who doesn't have a lot of sustained damage against an Olaf with, how much HP is he sitting at the moment? 3,700. He has more health than Mundo at this point. It'd be so hard for Alex to get back in this game or to do anything. And the thing is right now, Demon, I'm saying Giants are in the driving seat. They have a Rise. They have Teleport on him. Alex Itch cannot defend against him. He's the only one that can really stop him besides Darian, which he can still take him on if need be.
Oh, they're diving in here. They are going to flip on towards Samox. I'm not sure that's really the target they wanted. And you can see immediately that he's trying to keep away. Slicing Maelstrom comes out, Crescendo on towards Samox, but he just tops the Ragnarok straight away. They're diving in, but they didn't really catch anyone from Gambit there. Darian is taken down very low. Diamond Prox taken low. Jim Bone's taken down very low. Everybody is very low, but nobody is dying. Diamond is finally going to go down. Darian gets dropped. Can they turn it around? Alex Itch tosses out the cards, tries to see where it lands. We do have Genja around the side. He was trying to be sneaky, but it's not sneaky enough. Alex Itch going to pop his ultimate. Where is he going to land? Where are you going, Alex? That is the question. Into a 5-man Giants team? I don't think so. And he pops the home guard boots and runs away.
And that still just shows how Gambit is still in this game, because they, as you're saying, during the entire fight, everyone is low, but no one is dying. And they're able to tank that damage and really able to put it back against Giants. But still, Baron is now up. This is that key point. They could have Rise just split pushing this entire time. They have that bottom inhibitor to take. They have the middle inhibitor to take. X are going to be backing out. How much gold is sitting on? Well, not really any at this point, but just going to go back and heal a little bit. But Giants, no vision currently for Gambit on this Baron, and they could easily take this with that Mundo, with Kennen, who, you know, with that Blade of the Rune King can do a lot of damage, not to mention teleport coming in from Rise, so they want to commit to this Baron, and they will get this.
Alexic doesn't have Destiny up. He just had to use it a moment ago. There is the Baron picked up, and now they're going to turn it around. You can see Babetta popping Shurelius. He wants to try and catch a route down. It's not going to happen, and they will be forced back. But this is now a Baron Giants team, all backing, all buying. Going to focus this one, channel their energies, buy everything they can do. Phantom Dancer just popping in there along with another pickaxe. Jim Bowen's really very much the leading charge of the damage from Giants. He has absolutely been playing with balls of steel, taking on Alexic, no problem, Genja, whoever. He's been diving on towards Darian. He doesn't care who comes at him. Samoxo, has he gone too deep? He's had to use Ragnarok and Ghost. Instead, he turns back around and tries to 3v1 them.
And the thing is, it doesn't matter how much damage you're going to do to him right now. He's going to heal it up with that Baron, with the Warmog on top of that extra regen. They have that freedom to poke as much as possible with that Undertow. With Jimbo's landing any kind of shuriken.
The Q is going to follow.
It just kind of floats by, but they're going to take this inhibitor. They can easily get the bottom one on top of that. There's no point for Giants to actually lose this game.
Gambit have to fight this. They are just going to sit back, and they are going to lose all three inhibitors if they don't fight in this last one. The top inhibitor will be respawning soon, but this bottom one, if they take it down, it's going to be the crucial moment. Those double super minions coming in.
Yeah, very true. I mean, they have to channel either their inner EG or just come out into this team fight and really kind of kill someone here. But who can they focus down? It's pretty much just Jim Bones, but he has a lot of protection. He is going in for him, though.
They're going in for it, and Darian is just going to get popped where he stands. You can't take the damage there, and Extermin takes down Darian. Volibear goes down as well. Darian is taking down Bruno. They can see that's a triple kill. Can he get any more? He doesn't care. It's going to be the third inhibitor of the game. It's going to be Genja dropped. The Giants Gaming Spaniards are going to take down the Russian overlords. Right here, it is going to be the League of Legends Championship Series throwing out the first big upset in week one, and Giants successfully pick up their first win of the LCS. Can you believe it? They take down Gambit. What a fantastic performance by them.
And look at their face. They have to be so relieved after that game, after that really iffy start at the beginning. They were playing really passive. They weren't being really aggressive, but they just kind of exploded out of nowhere. Maybe that was their entire plan the whole time, is just kind of catch them off guard. And Giants, like you're saying, the first big upset, they have to feel so relieved. And Gambit, I mean, look at them right now. After that stomp they had over Fnatic, they had such a tough time in this game, and they pretty much got stomped themselves.
The highs and lows of League of Legends for Gambit right now. They are 1-2 in this league. I would not be expecting that. 1-1 for Giants. Let's toss it over to our analyst desk, because that was an interesting game.
Interesting game, I think, is a bit of an understatement there. We actually had a really, really hard time of picking out the replay, because, in all fairness, the last 22, 25 minutes of that should be what we show all over again, because that was a fantastic, just an amazing game, Quick Shot.
Yeah, you cannot say more about how well the Giants played. You know what, we talked about it at the LCS, how slow they played, how they would get an advantage and they couldn't convert it in the mid to late game. Yeah. They did it yesterday. They had the advantage and they could not convert it in the mid to late game. Today, my word, their mid game was explosive. They turned the heat on and it did not stop.
It didn't stop, and that's the thing that really won. They were so unpredictable. They were all over the place, pulling off the kills left, right, and center. Yes, they got caught out a couple of times, but they pretty much every single time that they got caught out replied and made it at least a 1-for-1. They were up in the Gambit jungle. They were doing such an amazing job of covering the entire map, picking off kills left, right, and center, and they were so sorry. I'm so happy for them, to be honest with you, that they can take down a team like Gambit in a game like that.
Yeah, it's so true. They had a great composition. They got to play the champions that they were comfortable with. You know, they got to play Rise. They got to play Kennen. And Jim Bones, my word, from the very get-go in the lane, every single time Jim Bones committed to an engagement, he pretty much picked up kills. He was very well positioned. He landed stun after stun after stun, and it was great, great, great play. But we do have a replay to look through.
Yeah, we can jump straight into that one now. We've got a couple for you here. This is the actual one leading up, though, in towards the Baron.
That's it. This particular replay, what I need to do is paint the picture for you. Take a look at the ward placements there. You can see by our Zyra, there are 2 vision wards clearing out the wards in this Baron buff. They're going to start taking these down very, very shortly. And you can see that Olaf is down on the bottom lane. Samux is going to start pulling people away as we watch this in full speed. And watch as you can see the rest of the Giants members moving towards this Baron pit. Samux is baiting the play. He is pulling everybody in. As you can see, the Baron does get started. They've cleared the wards out. They know the vision. They know that Twisted Fate had recalled. And Samux is extremely happy because he's pulled 2 people away. You can see immediately now that Genja starts to head towards the Baron pit. And look at this micro here from Morden. He sidesteps, manages to step away from the True Shot Barrage, picks up Baron Nashor, and then starts turning the pressure onto the Moscow 5, the Gambit Gaming players, rather, ex-Moscow 5. So we're going to pause that one right here. And the following 6 minutes almost killed Lee. This following 6 minutes was absolutely mental because the score at the end of this was 9-3. Okay, 9-3 was the kills. Giants had 3 turrets on the board. In the next 6 minutes, they jumped to 9 turrets, 2 inhibitors. They took every single thing down. They were clearing out wave after wave after wave, and it was just absolutely mental.
Yeah, we talk about teams pressuring after they pick an advantage. A lot of teams can't do that. A lot of teams sit on an advantage for far too long, and some teams end up throwing it away in the end. But Giants, the amount of pressure that they put on after that one, as you said, we had to get someone standing by with the paddles, the electric paddles, just in case, Demon couldn't quite handle it there at the end. There were a few moments where I did see his eyes popping out a little bit further than they normally do. But yeah, overall, amazing performance by Giants. And after that loss yesterday, you can't really say that couldn't have gone any better for them. That a tough fixture coming up against Gambit Gaming, especially how we've seen them doing today already once. Yep. And all credit to them, they've bounced straight back here in the European LCS.
Yeah, completely. They fixed every single thing that they needed to fix about their composition, about their playstyle. Every single weakness in their armor from yesterday was gone. It was simply gone. They got an advantage in the early stages and they converted it to a win. Well played, Giants.
Yeah, really amazing stuff there. Of course, we are going to be throwing it over here in a second to the main stage. But quick shot, I think that Giants are going to be so proud. They've done their fans pride. I was watching the reaction on Reddit as well as we were going that one. Obviously, we have a bit of time here as well on the analyst desk. And the entire community there were really behind Giants. And I'm really happy to see a team like that really making it into the limelight again.
Yeah, so true. And in such explosive fashion. Like, it really cannot be said. You got a question now. Are they going to ban Rise? For here on out, it's every team going to say Kennen and Rise.
Kennen he's proved time and time again, Jim Bones, to varying degrees of success, but in my opinion, always been successful from what we've seen in the qualifiers and so far in Season 3 itself. So I could well imagine that Jim Bones is not going to get to play that Kennen again. But either way, we're going to be throwing it over onto the stage where Shox is ready with one of the Giants guys.
Yes, I'm here on stage with Samux, the top laner for Giants, who just had a great game against Gambit. Now, Samux, yesterday your team played well too, but they didn't secure the win. Did you come on stage today wanting to show how good you really are?
Yeah, we wanted to show that we are a strong team, and I think we did it.
Okay. Is there something, a special tactic you had prepared versus Gambit? The team, the champions, tactic?
Yeah, we prepared a tanky setup to play against them, and of course the Kennen.
Okay. Thank you very much, Samux. Now, after this short break, we'll be back with our last match of the day. Oh, and what match it is. It's SK Gaming versus Evil Geniuses. Stick around.